13 On Your Sidelines top 10 games of 2022. Sponsored by Rand Insurance Group.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jamal Spencer. From week 1 in August until the regional title games in week 12, 13 On Your Sidelines always brings you the best high school football highlights in West Michigan. And now we're excited to count down the 10 most exciting games of the year. First, let's take a look at some of the honorable mentions. In week 1, Montague held on to beat Spring Lake 20-17 after the Lakers narrowly missed a 50-yard field goal that would have tied the game. In week 2, Rockford was down 20 points against Mona Shores, but scored 24 unanswered late in the game to come from behind and beat the Sailors 31-27. And in week 10, Ravenna avenged a regular season loss against North Muskegon as the Dogs beat the Norse 10-7 to score their first district title since 2016. East Grand Rapids and Byron Center always seem to bring raucous crowds to their games, so you know the energy is going to be high when they tangle. Nate Belt brings us their OK White Showdown, which kicks off our list at number 10.
CGR looking for a nice win at home. But it's the Bulldogs starting the second half with the fireworks. 13-7 halftime. It's Brady Bright going almost entirely untouched on the opening kickoff to tie it up. Showing off for the fans there. BC students having fun too. They traveled well to EGR. Pioneers, though, going to take the lead right back. Quarterback Scotty Millman keeps it and fights his way into the end zone. Not to be outdone, we've got Hunter Schichtel on the other end. He's going to jump over the pile, Barry Sanders style, getting into the other end for the Dogs. That puts Byron Center up by 1 point. This fan not having it. Last chance for the Pioneers. And Byron Center's Isaac Lee calls game. Nice play. Interception at the goal line. 10 seconds to go. That seals the Bulldogs win, 20-19.
In week 5, we picked Zeeland West versus Muskegon as our 13 On Your Sidelines game of the week. It was a game with huge implications in the OK Green, and it did not disappoint. Coming in at number 9 on our list. Middle of the first quarter, Zeeland West on the 41, handoff to Parker Holman. He squeezes through the line, then turns on the Jets for the touchdown run, making it 14-0 Ducks. Middle of the second quarter, Big Reds on the 4. Jacob Price takes the handoff, takes it to the outside for the touchdown, making it a 20-7 ball game. Third quarter now, Big Red ball. Price again with the handoff, showing off the Jets, 26-21. Now late fourth quarter, Zeeland West on the 26. Skylar Gurink somehow makes it through, breaks outside, breaks away for the game-winning touchdown. Final score, 38-36, Zeeland West a winner.
They kept coming at us. They really did a nice job offensively in the second half. Fortunately, we were able to keep scoring enough to get this one. Keep playing. You play this team, you got to keep playing. They play, you know, obviously they play till the last whistle, and so did we tonight.
Just 7 days after that, the 13 On Your Sidelines game of the week was another thriller with huge impact on a conference championship race. This time it was in the OK Gold, where South Christian hosted Grand Rapids Catholic Central, with the Cougars riding a 43-game winning streak dating back to August of 2019. Here's number 8. First half, both teams started out a little slow offensively, with Catholic Central kicking off the scoring on a pass to the outside by Billy Mikale. He's in for 6. However, they would go on and miss the extra point. Now, South Christian answered just prior to halftime. Beautiful toss by quarterback Jacob DeHaan to Seth Reitzma. That'll make it 7-6 Sailors at the break. In the second half, South Christian scored quickly, but Catholic Central would respond. That's what champions do. Michael App on the screen comes back, catches this one, and he's going to power his way across the goal line. However, that wasn't going to slow down South Christian. Jacob DeHaan got to go both ways in high school, quarterback and defensive back. He gets the pick 6, taking it the other way. South Christian does the seemingly impossible. They beat Catholic Central, ending their streak with the final score 36-34. We caught up with South Christian head coach Danny Brown, who gave us his thoughts on the game.
You know, once the kids on both sides settled in, I think there were some nerves in the first half. Kids kind of started doing their thing and start making big plays, and that's what they do, and it's what we do, and it was fireworks. It was absolute fireworks.
2022 was a year of big improvements for East Kentwood, and it showed in week 2 when they took on one of the best-known football powerhouses from the east side of the state in Brother Rice. Mark Skoll Jr. brings us number 7 on our list.
First quarter, Blake Morogi hits Nikolai Korzeniski for a 21-yard touchdown at 7-0 Warriors. EK answers in the second. Stellan Bowman carries it in for a short touchdown. It's 7-all. Third quarter, Falcons trailing 17-10. Van Cash gets it in from 6 yards out. Andrew Welch, though, missed the game-tying PAT, but he'd get a chance to redeem himself. Down by 1 with 4 seconds on the clock. Welch is money. Hits the 26-yard field goal as time expires. East Kentwood beats Brother Rice 19-17.
Yeah, honestly, there was nerves. I hadn't had my best night, but I made that shot 1,000 times before, and I knew I was going to hit it here. I was a little nervous, but I made it. So.
I think I saw you crushing some Sour Patch Kids at halftime. Is that the key to success?
I did, yeah. That's my superstition. I get really tired at halftime, so some sugar, some Sour Patch, or pink Starburst, and I'm good to go.
This year, both Grand Rapids Union and Reitz Puffer were coming off losing seasons. But early on this year, both showed signs of improvement. They faced off in the 13 On Your Sidelines game of the week in week 4, and it had an exciting but controversial ending. Mark Skoll Jr. is back with number 6 on our list.
The Rockets down 7-zip. Brady Ross hands it to Brody Johnson. He almost loses it, but he holds on as he tiptoes down the sideline and in. We're tied at 7 to the second. Union down 13-7. Tommy Stevens passes it to Bad Jersey Brown. He gets hit hard, but gets in. Union up 21-13. Late in the third, tied at 21. Brody Johnson gets the ball, finds the hole, and he comes right into your living room. Rockets go for 2. They lead 29-21. 21 seconds left. Tommy Stevens calls his own number, gets the 3 yards needed. They score the 2-point conversion to tie at 29 going to overtime. Oh boy, the Rockets get the ball first on third down. Ross finds Tate Vanderlest in the back of the end zone. The botched PAT, they're up 35-29. Third down for the Red Hawks. Najee Thornton plows in for the touchdown. But hold up, wait a minute. Flag on the play, illegal procedure. Don Fellows is upset. They fail on 4th down, and the Rockets get the victory, 35-29 the final.
It's really exciting when you can just have smiles on faces and watch a team overcome adversity when they haven't overcome adversity in a long time, and be able to find out that W, no matter who it's against, in an environment like this.
Let's pull the curtain back a little bit. When we pick which games we're covering on Fridays, sometimes we have to make tough decisions. In week 5, 2-2 Holland Christian versus 1-3 Spring Lake wasn't in our game plan. But when we saw how close it was at the half, we called an audible, and we're sure glad we did. Matt Guard brings us the number 5 game of the year.
Spring Lake led Holland Christian 20-14 at half in OK Blue action. Third quarter, Maroons. Red zone looking to take the lead. Eli Boyce gets picked off in the end zone. Bryce Collins on that one. Fourth quarter, Lakers go for it on 4th down, but Ryder Gravenhoff shows he's not just the guy with the coolest name on the field. He stops Spring Lake short. 2 minutes to go. Eli Boyce scrambles, makes a great throw on the run, finds Ethan Aberger. Nice. 45-yard tutty makes it 21-20 Maroons. One last shot for Spring Lake. Reed Grimmer, pass, picked off. Luke Mitchmerheisen. Hey, if I pronounced your name wrong, I owe you a muffin from De Boers. Holland Christian wins an instant classic.
How about some CSAA crossover action? The folks in Kent City are always excited when the 13 On Your Sidelines crew shows up for an Eagles game. And they put a show on for us in week 2 versus Central Montcalm. Nate Belt brings us number 4 on our list.
The Eagles trying to come back in the second half, and this will help. Mason Westbrook, like corn, he's got the juice. That one's for Mark Skoll Jr. Up the gut for the score. 1-point game. Central Montcalm going to bounce right back, though. Here comes freshman quarterback Emmett Lingaman. He's going to find Hayden Train, choo-choo, chugging his way to the end zone. 7-point game, but here come the Eagles. She's trying to help him out. Absolute drop in the bucket to the corner of the end zone, and a phenomenal grab by Ari Baker. Phenomenal play there. This kid's going nuts. He's going to be fun at parties today. Kent City taking the risk, going for 2 and the lead, and it's Westbrook again rumbling in, and a 4th down stop on the other end. Eagles holding on. It's fans on the field in Kent City. They're going to win 28-27.
Cedar Springs had a slow start to the season, but you can blame that one on one of the toughest schedules in the state through the first 4 weeks. Part of that schedule included an OK Gold showdown with Grand Rapids Catholic Central. And boy, did they give the Cougars a run for their money. That game comes in at number 3. Near the end of the first quarter, CC on the 1-yard line, Braden Sweeney would take it in himself for the touchdown. Mixed extra point made it 6-0. Second quarter, Cedar Springs from the 19. Ryan West would run it all the way in for the touchdown. 7-6 lead at the half. Fourth quarter, Hawks trailing 21-14. 47 seconds left. Ryan Mitchell takes it in from 10 yards out. 21-20 ball game. Gus Kapolka talks it over. Cedar Springs goes for 2 and the win. Cougars all over it. They swarm West for the sack. Catholic Central makes the winning play, as they always do, as they hold on to the 1-point win. In week 12, the final week of 13 on Your Sidelines, it was a battle of undefeated teams as South Christian hosted Whitehall. There was a regional title on the line as well, and the result came down to one big play in the final minute of the contest. Here's number 2 on our list. The only other time these two teams met was in the 2014 regionals, when John Wasik and the Sailors defeated Whitehall on their way to a state title. South Christian would open up the scoring late in the first quarter. Senior quarterback Jake DeHaan keeps it, runs it in for 6. Now, Whitehall's defense would keep them in the game with plays like this. Tran and Ehlert gets up and knocks this one away. They're only allowing 11 points per game. The defense doing their thing. Kyle Stratton decides to show off the arm, airs this one out from his own 46-yard line all the way down the field, finds Camden Thompson at the Sailors' 9. He takes it in. Vikings are on the board. Second half, Vikings strike and get their first lead of the game. Nate Bollig powers his way like the Kool-Aid man running through a wall. And on the very next drive, now the Sailors are going to tie it and find themselves in a 4th and 7 situation. DeHaan draws the offsides penalty, not once, but twice in a row, giving them the first down. A few plays later, he takes to the air, connects with Nate Brinks, scores the game-winning touchdown as South Christian beats Whitehall 28-21, giving the Vikings their only loss of the season. We caught up with DeHaan after the game as he explains the strategy of the final moments and how the team will continue.
It was all our coaches, man. Our coaches are great. They made a great play call, and it all started with them. So they made a great play call. Yeah, we're just going to look forward to the next game one step at a time, and we're just going to do how we always been doing the whole entire season. It's been working pretty well. So we're just going to keep doing what we're doing.
We thought the game of the year was a Week 9 showdown between two undefeated teams. Rockford traveled to Caledonia for the OK Red title. That game didn't turn out to be as close as anybody thought. The Rams took it to the Scots. But it turns out those two teams did play in the game of the year. It just happened to be their rematch in the district title game 2 weeks later. Here's Nate Belt with number 1.
First ever playoff meeting between these two OK Red rivals, and it was a defensive battle. First quarter, Mason McKenzie forced out of the pocket. He's going to toss it up for grabs. But Rockford's Isaac Poot's going to come down with the pick. McKenzie wishing he had that one back. Tony Anise in the house from Ferris State, getting a good look at McKenzie. We head to the fourth quarter now, tied at 3. Rockford looking to score, and it's picked. That's Reed Vogler. Game stays tied. We're heading to overtime. More field goals in the first. Now it's double overtime, where the Rams get the first touchdown of the game. The legs of Ryan Ahern, and Rockford up 13-6. Fighting Scots up now, and they punch it in. It's Brock Townsend. And Caledonia wants to end it here. 2-point conversion. Who else? Mason McKenzie gets after it. That's ball game. Caledonia gets their revenge, 14-13.
So did we get it right? Make sure to visit the comment section below and tell us what game you think was number 1. And don't forget to subscribe to our 13 on Your Side YouTube channel. Thanks for tuning in to the top 10 games of 2022. We're looking forward to bringing you West Michigan's best high school football highlights next year. For all of us at 13 on Your Sidelines, I'm Jamal Spencer. Have a good night and a better offseason.